Have you ever been with someone who notices things no one else does? A tiny scratch on a car door, a slight change in engine sound, a detail so small you didn't even realize it existed. But they did. And not just once, every time. Why does this happen? Why do some people see details that others completely miss? At first, it might look like obsession, or maybe overthinking. But the truth is, it's something much deeper. Because people who notice details in cars don't just see cars, they see systems. When most people look at a car, they see the whole, the shape, the color, the brand. But for someone who pays attention to details, their brain automatically breaks everything down. The wheels, the alignment, the sound of the engine, the way the car moves. It's almost like their mind zooms in without trying. This happens because of something in psychology called pattern recognition. The brain is constantly learning patterns from experience, and when someone spends time around cars, their brain starts building a mental library. Sounds, shapes, movements, even tiny imperfections. Over time, this creates something powerful, the ability to notice what doesn't fit. That's why a car enthusiast can hear a sound and instantly feel that something is wrong, even if they can't explain it immediately. Because their brain isn't guessing, it's comparing what it sees now with everything it has learned before. But there's another layer to this, something more personal. For many people, paying attention to details isn't just about cars, it's about control. The world can feel unpredictable. People are complicated, situations change, things don't always make sense. But a car is different. A car responds to logic. If something is wrong, there is a reason. If you look closely enough, you can find it. And for someone who values control, that's incredibly satisfying. Noticing details becomes a way of staying in control, a way of understanding something completely. And once the brain experiences that kind of clarity, it starts craving it. That's why detail-oriented people often spend hours looking, checking, adjusting, not because they have to, but because it feels right. There's also a strong connection to identity. People naturally express themselves through what they care about. And for some, cars become that expression. The way a car looks, the way it sounds, even the smallest detail becomes part of how they present themselves to the world. So when someone notices every detail, they're not just observing, they're connecting the car to themselves. This is why small imperfections can feel bigger than they should. A scratch isn't just a scratch. A sound isn't just a sound. It feels personal, because in a way, it is. There's also something else happening quietly, something most people don't realize. People who notice details often experience something called focused attention. Their mind naturally locks onto small things, filters out distractions, and goes deeper into what they're looking at. In psychology, this is linked to higher levels of awareness, the ability to stay present, to actually see what's in front of you. And in a world full of distractions, that's rare. But it also comes with a trade-off. Because when you notice everything, you can't unsee it. You notice flaws others ignore. You hear sounds others don't. You become aware of things most people never think about. Sometimes that can feel like a burden. But for many car enthusiasts, it becomes part of who they are. It shapes how they think, how they observe, even how they approach life. They become more patient, more analytical, more aware. Because when you train your brain to notice details in machines, you start noticing details everywhere. In people, in behavior, in situations. And that's where this goes beyond cars. Because the habit of paying attention changes the way you see the world. It makes you slower to judge, faster to understand, and more connected to reality. So the next time you see someone pointing out a detail no one else noticed, it's not just about the car. It's about the way their mind works. A mind trained to observe, to analyze, to understand. And maybe, in a world where most people are distracted, that's not obsession. That's awareness.